What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk. We are back, guys. We're just gonna give it a few seconds to let the chat build up. What's up, Air Joshy 2391? Welcome to the chat today, man. I think we found our head coach, man. I think we found our head coach, man. There's no question about it, man. When I put two and two together, it makes the most sense. What's up, Tony Vasquez? Shout out to you, man. It's too high. I'm gonna let a few more people get in the room and we're gonna get started, man. What's up, Jorge Rodriguez? Shout out to you. Thanks for joining. Y'all check in the chat. Please hit the like button, guys. 0 likes. So all you guys gotta hit the like button, man. Punch that like button. Troy Whittemer, what's up, man? Fins up to you. See here. Who we getting? What's up, TD? Hey, we about to find out, man. I'm gonna make the most sense of this, man. The best sense of this. At the end of the day, you got to look at everything that's been happening. To me, the writing might actually be on the wall. But hey, we're about to talk about it, man. I'm gonna give it about 30 more seconds and we're gonna get started, man. Let me go ahead and pull up an article real quick supporting what I'm saying. Let's see here. What up, Philip Jackson? Shout out to you, man. All right. One moment, guys. All right, it's coming up now, man. I hope y'all having a great day. What's up with everybody, man? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, man. Some of y'all might be on the road. Some of you just got off from work. Some of you been hanging out, been at home today. Wherever you've been, I hope y'all are having a great day, man. Yeah, thanks for your patience. I'm just pulling this up real fast. All right. All right, guys. On that ground. I see you, TD. Shout out to you, Nick Beast. All right, guys. It is what it is, man. Let's talk about it. We've already started interviewing coaches, the Miami Dolphins themselves, but here over at TD Fans Talk, we've been interviewing coaches as well. We started with New Orleans assistant. Actually, let me see. See here. Well, we actually interviewed New England Patriots assistant Brian Flores. We're probably going to do an interview on him today. But we also did Allen, the coach for the Saints, the defensive coordinator. We did him as well earlier today. If you want to go see that interview on TD Fans Talk, y'all go check it out in the other video. I'm back, bro. Shout out to you, Chris. Green Bay is interviewing Gates. A lot of people interviewing Gates. He's old news at this point, man. But we're interviewing coaches. It's one thing for our front office to make a decision on this, but why not us know stuff ourselves? You know, let's learn about these guys that we interviewing. Let's figure out, are they the actual best match for the Miami Dolphins? Now, Allen, when I did his interview, he ended up at like a 5.5. It's his overall rating out of 10. So I really didn't like that for the Miami Dolphins, but you got to go check out that video right now. I am going to tell y'all up front. I'm not going to go through Dan Rizzi's entire interview without telling y'all up front, okay? I literally, truly do believe at this point that Dan Rizzi is the leader right now to be our next head coach. Darren Rizzi is the leader right now to be our next head coach. I really do think he's in the driver's seat. Now, somebody, one of these veterans or one of these guys that can come and blow him out of the water over the next few days from an interviewing standpoint. But Dan Rizzi, it actually makes the most sense, man. This whole time I've been like, yeah, but we don't know if Dan Rizzi is going to be good. But after doing more research on Dan Rizzi himself and what's been going on the last few days with his name surrounded in the environment, it's all coming to me that this guy literally has the best shot at this point out of anybody that's been named to be our next head coach. And we're going to talk about why real quick, okay? Real talk. We're going to talk about why Darren Rizzi will probably be our next head coach. You heard it here first, all right? Now, first and foremost, okay? Dan Rizzi, we all already know what Darren Rizzi, why do I keep saying Dan? We already know about what he did for the Miami Dolphins this year, okay? Let's be fair. Let's put some facts out on the board to start out with. A lot of people, I'm gonna be honest with you. Of course, I knew, but a lot of people didn't even know Darren Rizzi. They didn't really even know his name until this year. That's just the truth. A lot of people actually haven't even been up on Dan Rizzi. Man, I'm gonna call him Dan. I keep saying Dan instead of Darren. So if I slip up and say Dan, hey man, y'all forgive me. But listen, a lot of people have not really even been up on this guy. For one, okay, it's special teams. Another, we've been so bad, nobody's been up on anybody. Sometimes I forget who our last coach was. Real talk. All right. So Darren Rizzi, he's actually been with the Miami Dolphins for quite a long time, man. And when I say a long time, it might be about 8 years, but I'm checking the facts now, guys. It might be about 8 years, but let me make sure, man. 1 second, guys. One moment. Man, it's pulling up now, man. 2009. So 9 years. I'm about spot on then, right? See, somebody just said I heard of Rizzi this year. That's my point. This man been on the Miami Dolphins coaching staff since 2009. I thought it was 2010, but 2009. I'm gonna go with what my man here is saying. Okay, right? He's been on the Dolphins staff that long. Do you know how many coaches we have been through since then? Do you know how many coaches we've been through? So just imagine one guy on your coaching staff. He's been remaining with the team through different regimes every time. This regime, hey, I'm here. This regime, they bring in all new people, but guess who ends up staying? Rizzi. This regime, they done brought in new staff. Guess who remained? Rizzi. There's something to be said about that, okay? There is something to be said about that. Philip Jackson just said he should know the whole system. Well, we're going to break it down. You spot on, bro. You spot on. There is something to be said about that. He's been here since 2010. That's what I figured, man. Somebody said 09, I went with it. But I figured it was 2010, right? But he's lasted about 3 different regimes with the Miami Dolphins. And that says a lot because we done wiped out regimes in its entirety. In its entirety, y'all. And he's been the same guy. And that's one thing, okay? That got my mind like, okay, let me actually open my mind to this guy. That's impressive in itself to go through regimes and actually still be with the same franchise. So let me back up for a second. What else do we know about this guy? Not much. And then whenever I look up his history, right? Then when I look up his history, he's been a coach, Rhode Island Rams. I think that's the CAA or whatever, Rhode Island Rams. He coached for the CAA. He was a head coach, and he went 3-9. Okay, tied 5th in the North. Nothing to be impressed about, but at the end of the day, okay. But here's where my mind goes. It doesn't say, oh, he didn't do good as a coach of a CAA team. No, because I don't know nothing about the CAA. It could be all kind of circumstance, you know. Small league, less control, different things. It's all money. They trying to pump it. I don't know. I can't put that on this man. But what I can do is evaluate it like, okay, this guy was in the CAA. That reminds me of that Cam Wakefield. They got something to prove. They got something to actually put on the table. I love guys like that. I love guys like that. That's why I would respect the Dwayne Wade more than I do a LeBron James. Yes, LeBron James is the better player, but I respect Dwayne Wade more because he came in with Melo and LeBron, and he was the undershadow guy. But he earned his every night. He earned his name. I respect those guys that don't come into it with the name. They actually earn the name. Those type of guys. And that's what I'm seeing. That's what it makes me feel like with Darren Rizzi. Then he NCAA Division II football. He went 5-5. Basically, he was a 500 coach for 3 seasons for a D2 school. For a D2 school, man. So then he makes his way in the NFL as the special teams coordinator. But people are forgetting this right now. Here's what a lot of people are forgetting. I knew this but it doesn't register in your mind to even care. But we cannot forget, Darren Rizzi isn't only the special teams coordinator. Do y'all put in the comment section, what was Darren Rizzi's position this year? He wasn't actually only the special teams coordinator. I want y'all to put it in the comment section. What is his other position on the team? He actually does have another title, assistant head coach. You spot on, Key Rank. He's been the assistant head coach. He's been the assistant head coach. He's been the assistant head coach, man. He's been sitting back, and to me, what it's looking like is he's one of those guys that came in, I'm going to be the greatest I can be in my small role. It's not small, but most of the times it's overshadowed. Even if you suck or you're doing good, most people don't pay attention to special teams. But I'm going to come in, I'm going to have a relationship because a special teams coach is required to learn the entire 53-man roster. This is a fact. Because that's the one coaching position you get what we give you and you got to make it work because they're only focused on the offense and defense. They're not bringing in special teams players. Teams don't do that. So the special teams coach has to take his best athletes out of the 53-man on offense and defense and say, how can I build my special teams? Who has it out here? Let me look at these cornerbacks. Let me see. He picks the special teams. He picks the special teams. Nobody gets drafted to be the punt returner. He actually goes through his talent. If he wanted to, he can have Minka Fitzpatrick returning kicks if he thought he was skilled enough. He picks the defensive, the special teams. He has that control. That is like a mini head coach. I'm picking my roster, but all I got is 53 men to do it from. That is like the smallest level of a head coach because you actually make or break the team out of a pool. The defensive coordinator, hey, these are your players. The offensive coordinator, hey, these are your players. But the special teams coordinator, they have all the players. They get to pick. There's some guys that get cut from the special teams mid-season that nobody talks about. Matter, this guy is now in. Jerome Baker has replaced, I'm just using an example. Jerome Baker has replaced Raekwon McMillan on special teams starter. It's guys that earn that too. Some guys even have incentives in their contracts for stuff like that. These low-level guys, knowing that they're not gonna make a big contract, but let me sign a minimum, but they give me incentives. I can be the best special teams I can. This amount of tackles on special team, that amount, different stuff like that. But Darren Rizzi is running his own little organization on special teams. But you know what but the benefit he has, he knows every player on the roster. He knows their strengths. He knows their weaknesses better than any coach that's at home right now. I got an interview with Miami on Monday. I got to study this team. Like coaches literally right now, this is their shot. Any coach, any coordinator around the league, they are studying Miami. If they got an interview for next Tuesday, they are studying Miami for the next 4 days nonstop until they get off the plane and walk into the building. They are studying the players, studying the organization, studying because they have to go in there, give a bid of themselves and what they can do for the franchise. They don't know much about this team. Not unless they know some of the guys and they work with some of the guys. They don't know much. They calling their plugs right now. Hey, man, what do you know about the Miami Dolphins? Hey, I know you with the organization. Tell me what I need to know. They doing all that back end work right now. Everybody applying for this position, these low-level guys. Rizzi knows them all. Rizzi knows what the organization is trying to accomplish. Rizzi's in on some of those meetings. Rizzi sees the vision. But above all, he knows the players. And what I love the most about it is I was shocked when I read the article that it is really a thing where so many Miami Dolphin players are coming out right now endorsing Rizzi, all on Twitter and social media. Jason Taylor, that one struck me. And he didn't say I endorse Rizzi. It was more impactful what he said. I've been telling people about Rizzi, something like along those lines. It's about time they recognize Rizzi's a good coach. That's what he said. It's about time. To hear Jason Taylor say that, that means he's been having an influence at the end of Jason Taylor's career. And when Jason Taylor comes out there, he knows Rizzi. He knows the coach he is. What does Jason Taylor have to benefit right now? Nothing to sell Rizzy. That was a true statement from a man to another man on his work and and his belief in him as a coach. That's huge. That is huge. These are things that you don't know about these other guys that you have to come see. And then the sad thing is, more times than not, they not the guy. People are forgetting this too. As crazy as it is with quarterbacks in this league, teams rotate quarterbacks every 3-4 years because they can't find that guy. As much as they do that, people fail to realize the same thing happening with coaches. They are being rotated so much now. This isn't the older days. This isn't the days where they're literally taking time with coaches. I mean, you got a minimum of about 5 years, and then if nothing's happening, then we start looking at you. No, that's not what happens these days. These days, oh man, it's been 2 years. We're going to have to move on. Oh, it's been 1.5. We're going to have to move on. Oh, it's been 3 years. No, we're going to have to move on. It's like if you ain't get a Super Bowl in that amount of time, we got to move on. For the life of me. And we get sucked into that. We got to back up and recognize what's right in front of us. To have Brian Hartline even on Twitter talking about literally endorsing this guy, man. Hartline and a slew of other past Dolphins and athletes and stuff like that. A slew of others, man. Big name people endorsing Rizzy. Now, some of it does come from, let's go at Rizzy. We love him. But to hear certain individuals, I know their character, man. They meant it. Jason Taylor, he meant it. I've been telling people about Rizzy. Literally. That's basically kind of what he's saying. It's about time this man gets recognized. That's what he said in his message on social media. It is about time he gets recognized as being a good coach. And that's where these guys start. The reality is, if we're going to be in rebuild mode and have a long-term vision, then let me tell you also why Rizzy is the safest bet. Because you might be bringing in a young coach and not holding him to expectations of 10-6 right away. We're not bringing Rizzy in to be no 12-4. If it happens, yes. But you bring a Rizzy in that has a great relationship with the guys, aren't going to lose the guys. He can pamper those attitudes of Xavier Howard, I want a max contract. He might be able to pamper stuff like that and be able to calm things down, get the guys to, hey, let's play as a unit so we can continue to scout you all live every day. Scout, that's their job, is to scout everything in front of them every day. But Rizzy's job will not to be to be the head coach. And what I mean by that, he will be the head coach. But it won't be to, I'm calling defense or I'm calling offense. You don't need Rizzy to do that. You need the new defensive coordinator, and I do emphasize new. You need the new defensive coordinator to do their job, and Rizzy oversees them. You need the offensive coordinator or the new offensive coordinator to do their job, and he oversees them. He don't need to be there calling plays. He don't need to be there calling schemes for the defense. He needs to manage the team. And what I mean by that is he needs to work with his coaches, make sure that they are delivering that same passion that Rizzy delivers to these players when he was the special teams coordinator. There's something about that, guys. Head coaches aren't supposed to be all in the fray, calling the plays and doing this and that. All you are is an offensive coordinator with control. If you're a head coach and you're sitting there calling the plays, they have eliminated a position in the organization. You're really just an offensive coordinator calling plays. You notice most of the head coaches that call all the plays, they don't say nothing on defense. They always got a defensive coordinator. They're not calling defensive schemes, because they're usually one or the other. So those head coaches that call offensive plays, they are literally individuals that are offensive coordinators with power, period. They're not head coaches. They just eliminated that position. The franchise is saving money by eliminating that position. General expenses, all right? So with that being said, When they save that money, literally, and have coaches that are not head coaches but offensive coordinators, they're missing that top guy that's holding the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator accountable. They're missing that level. And that's all Rizzi needs to do. He needs, as a matter of fact, let him continue to run special teams. He continues to run special teams. As a matter of fact, they bring in a new young guy and he teaches him everything he knows, but he runs special teams. Let the new guy, that's what organizations do. You're bringing up the next people. Let Rizzi run special teams, but he has a coordinator that's learning from him. And all he needs to do is manage games in situations. Hey, give me a good run right here. Sometimes he can be right there with his offensive coordinator. Give me a good run right here. Let the offensive coordinator call a game. But in certain situations, give me a good run right here. Matter of fact, go for this one. It's on you. Go for this. 4th and 1 on our own 48. Go for it. It's on you. Give me a good play. That's the most he needs to do. He ain't got to be double check, right, ride this and that, calling plays. No. He needs to focus on the future, watching these young players develop, literally studying the game himself. That's what the head coach does. He sit back and he coaches the offensive coordinator and he coaches the defensive coordinator and let them do their job on Sunday. Offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are really supposed to be your coaches of the team. They're the ones that it hangs over. And the actual head coach holds them accountable. If they're not getting the job done, you're fired. He's putting a plan. He's trying to work with them. He's trying to develop them, trying to help them. If he's not working out, he's fired. I need a new offensive coordinator. That's what a head coach is supposed to be doing, man. Literally. That's what he's supposed to be doing. Defensive coordinator, same thing. Hey, Minka's digressing. What is he digressing in? The head coach supposed to be talking to the defensive coordinator. What is it? Why is he digressing? We got a first round pick. What's going on? What plan do you have in place for him to improve this about his game? Improve that about his game? When should I start to expect results? And the defensive coordinator telling them. Then the head coach is coming back 3 weeks later. You told me I should be expecting results. This isn't good. Do I need to get somebody else to come in to improve our number 1 pick, our first round pick for 2008? All right, you have until this date. They don't get it done because you got to hold these coaches accountable. Make them coach, man. Make them coach. Make them coach, man. Make them be better than you. That's what it's about. And then you get recognized because it starts flowing through the team. It starts flowing through the whole team, man. Darren Rizzi is the safe bet, man. He knows all the players. All he needs to do is be the head coach, not the coordinators. Not the coordinators other than special teams. He don't have to be. Not only that, guys, but Darren Rizzi, he's the safe bet. During the next 2 or 3 years of building, if he's not working out and you can see coaching flaws from him, it's an easy, hey, we thank you for the 2 or 3 years. And now we're trying to get that, maybe at that point, legendary coach. Because why? Because we got the squad now. We don't win in the draft and we got the squad. We don't win in free agency. We don't rebuild 2 or 3 years later. Now we can bring in the guy to take the ship home. These are real potentials, man, real possibilities. But that's why Darren Rizzi actually would be the safest bet right now. Stuff won't crumble. Oh, you know how new coaches come in. I'm setting my expectation. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. All right, you put him in his place. Just trying to instill their power and let people know I'm the coach. No. Darren Rizzi got the winning formula. Them the type of coaches I love. That players will jump through a wall for. The Dan Campbell type, but with better temperament. I'm just saying. The Dan Campbell type, but with better temperament. And you can tell that it's genuine versus me pumping you up. You can tell that it's genuine of what I'm trying to accomplish and work hard for you as the player to improve you versus just pumping them up. Come on, you can do it. No, genuineness of trying to help them be better is so much better than, come on, you can do it. Just motivation. It's so much better. And that's what Darren Rizzi gives. These players love him. They'll listen to him because they know what he's saying is right. Not only that, he's not beating you down for the deficiencies you have. He's one of those minds. And not to toot on my own horn. That's kind of how I like to think. He's one of those minds where I'm not going to get on you about your shortcomings, what you physically can do on the field, but I'm going to find what you can do, and we're going to talk about how we can use that to help you with the things you can't do. We're not going to say, hey, you're just not good in this area. You need to improve in speed. You need to improve in speed. You're just not fast enough. And just end it at that. And guys are like, man, it's harder to be that much faster than what I am. And he say, hey, you don't have great speed, but where you can work on that is your physicality at the point of contact. He may be telling those special team guys that. When you get downfield, if you're that last guy coming down, even if you're not as fast, what you do, make sure you're doing this every time, and you'll still be able to make this roster basically have a job. He's trying to help you the best way he genuinely can. Even with your physical limitations, not delivering them to you like you just ain't good enough by. Well, let's use you anyway. That's the type of mind Rizzy is. Let's use you anyway. How can I get the best you out of you? Even if I don't even think you're gonna make the roster, probably. That's probably how he is with players he know ain't gonna make the roster, but let me get the best look out of you and show the coaches that you should have a chance. Even though you shouldn't make it at all. And that's what's important, man. Players jumped in. Those are real player coaches. Those are real player coaches. Not those guys that's, come on, man, you can do it. Let's pump up. That's motivation. That's in the moment. That is so temporary. That's why you need them all the time. But that thoughtful stuff, it makes all the sense in the world. Now that guy's in the gym, literally, all right, I just need to get stronger at the point of contact. Matter of fact, hey, he calling guys that's bigger than him over. Hey, I just want to do some. I want to do hitting drills, getting off the ball real fast and just let's contact each other. Let's being able to absorb hits and all that. All that he's working on what he know he can do, and stop worrying about the fact that you ain't fast enough. Keep running though. I mean, those are the things, man. I know this might be a little deep for y'all, but it makes a difference in coaches, man. His voice commands respect. Exactly. It's all characteristics that are rare. I'm just being honest with y'all. These are rare characteristics, man. And he's the type of guy, he's not into his own self. He's mastered the ability to not worry about himself and just let the outcome be what it is. Just do my job and do it very well and inspire others. He's not worried about being promoted. He's going to interview because he feels his time is now. And why not? I live right. I do everything I need to do. I feel I can do this. I'm interviewing. But he's not worried about if he doesn't get it. If he doesn't get it, he probably will write them a type of letter that says, please don't make this, I don't want me interviewing, make you feel like I'm not in with the franchise. If you go a different direction, I would still love to be the best special teams coordinator I can be. That's the type of guy he is, man. Because y'all know if most people interview for the job and they don't get it, the next coach is definitely going to fire them because they don't want that tension of jealousy because I got it over you over them. That's how it usually happens. I'm just keeping it real. That's how it happens. That's how people are, man. That's just how people are. So at the end of the day, Rizzy is a stand-up guy. Been through 3 different regimes. Getting praise from ex-players that have no vested interest in him being the next head coach. No vested interest. But they still came and spoke out. People only do that for good people. They only do that for good people. And sometimes you need a good person. A good person can lead troops, man. And he's a leader. Hasn't shied away from it. I love the pick, man. And I can tell you now on TD's scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, hey, bring that guy in right now. TD is a 8.8 on Darren. I don't know why I keep saying Dan. He is an 8.8 on Darren Rizzi. Of course, the experience at that level and being able to have a whole organization, you can't get it until you're given the chance. But you can't get the points in the 9 and stuff like that because you have no NFL resume as a head coach. So that's just a disadvantage of a young coach trying to become a head coach. So that's where I'm at. The one that I did earlier with Allen from the New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator, I gave him a 5.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. So y'all let me know right now in the comment section, who's the next coach that we need to interview and go through their profile, go through their resume and talk about. Let me know right now in the comment section, who is the next coach that we need to go through. Now, the coach has to be somebody that we've already said we're going to bring in the interview. It has to be somebody we already said we're going to bring in the interview. Don't put people in the comment section that you just want to be the coach. You cannot put somebody you just want to be the coach. You have to put somebody that we've already said we're going to bring in for an interview, because I don't want to waste my time on people that's not even on our radar based off of rumors. Okay? All right? So people are saying Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio. Let me take that down, guys. Hold on. Somebody said Brian Flores. You know what? I might start with Brian Flores because I already had his on my list. So after I do Brian Flores, I want everybody in this chat section after my next one on Brian Flores to tell me who you want me to do next. So stay tuned for that live. So if you're live during that time, when I'm live at the end of the stream, and we don't get more than 30 minutes on the interview, okay? On that stream, I want you to put who you want me to interview, and we'll go through the interview live together, all right? But who I got next? New England's assistant coach, Brian Flores. We're going to go through his resume, and we're going to go from there. But TD, once again, gives Darren Rizzi an 8.8. I would love him as our next head coach, because if things don't work out 2 years or 3 years later, thanks for what you're doing. Do you still want to be the defensive coordinator? Because we need to bring in someone else if it don't work out. But, man, y'all might be shocked to see this man actually build an organization, help build an organization. But he's the option, because we're long-term right now anyway. So we got to do what we got to do. That's what I believe. This TD Fans Talk, man. I love y'all. Check me out on the next video. New England Patriots assistant coach Brian Flores. All right. We're gonna do his we're gonna go through his resume, and then we're gonna basically see what rating he gets as our next head coach, man. Can anybody blow me out, blow my mind like Darren Rizzi? We shall see as we continue to go through these bios and we interview these players, guys. This TD Fans Talk. Love y'all. Appreciate your support. I'm out, y'all.